chanting or mantra, and another is chanting Amitabha Buddha. And after that, we will have a workshop so that you can learn from them, and also the Tibetan mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. So our first speaker would be Venerable Rinpoche Ringpa Gasong. He is a Buddhist monk from Sakang Monastery in Yushu, Qinghai Province, from Gelu tradition. He currently serves as the Director of Teaching and Research for the Student Division in the high-level Tibetan Buddhism College of China, the most important college in China of all Tibetan traditions. So Rinpoche Rinpa has actively participated in training programs, Buddhism forums, and seminars officially organized. He has authored numerous scholarly papers and delivered significant speeches at various meetings and conferences. His work has repeatedly recognized as top-tier and second-tier excellent project by the Institute. On multiple occasions, Rinpoche has coordinated with a philanthropist to facilitate donations to schools and impoverished families, who currently assist Psycho Monastery in implementing various charitable activities. So now let's welcome Rinpoche Venerable Rinpa Gasong. Welcome. And he will has a translator, our PhD student Serene. He will also translate the Tibetan into English. Thank you.
소마 서로 잘라다시 될라시지.
Good afternoon, everyone.
네, 향강 로단 데도 아니 네 어치 넘바 기기 넘바 nga cholen dinda hajo ko ka jute bala hajo ga wo jongson.
First of all, I would like to express a sincere gratitude to my friends here, University of Hong Kong, for this wonderful opportunity.
네 nga cho de chinke ba don chin namba choma ta de tu chu za chin bo de ni nga churu lon chin de dong la yong ni nin ba la ha le ba ga wo jong.
Today, I will be sharing the benefits of Money Mantra, the significant spiritual tools in Tibetan Buddhism.
다 대롱이 저자 쪼온다고 때 많은 저거 동네 만제히도도 장스자야.
So let's start with a bit about the mantras. Yeah.
아니 조 많은 저거 동네 제시 자고야 돼 공레스나 나 쪽은 난종 생각도야 되는 생각 손지 몸보지근 생각도 요래 옛날이요 다 되는 조 태지 찬이 조동 희력의 찬이 조 인생한 이지가 동동 요래.
Why the money mantra is considered the essence of the Buddha, the syllables, the money mantras, within the mantras, the body is the perfections of love and compassion, and the wisdoms of emptiness, free from all impurity. And it's also the combinations of methods and wisdom.
내가 저때 니 때론 되는 레야 되라요. 생활은 봤어. 저디 네 이렇게 하는 작업이야. 네 저디라 네 동바 투지진 생각 아무니무니 마무니서 시된다죠. 니바텔라 네 파바찌르서 생각 아마니 비메 혼세야. 삼바텔라 제톤 잠비 용 생각 아라바찬나더스야. 디른 봤어. 데로티토니 마야이.
In Buddhism, each Buddha has a secret mantra that embodies the teachings in essence. For instance, Buddha Shakyamuni, his mantras, Mani Mani Mamani Soha, means the sage and the great sage and capturing his enlightening qualities. And Manjushri, the mantras, Umarapatana, signifies the wisdoms that ripens in sentient beings, reflecting his embodiments of wisdom. Avalokiteshvara, and we will focus on these mantras, Omanapema Homs, and which translates to the all jewels in Lotus Sutra and the Lota, symbolizing compassion and purity.
다조 대론된 생각은 네 제톤 잠비 용동 아닌데 파바찌르서 생각 띵이 희고 진짜 조 공에서나 저 타지그 차네 저 희르그 차네 아니 타신 인지그 동네마 해지.
Why I choose this two? And because one represents the wisdom, the other is represent the method.
내가 저때 테마 동본 생한 동요에 네가 되나 생한 소마가 네 되나 암세야 처저两个 요래 암세야 때 연구 진짜 조 공에서는 암세야 때라 이게 좀 봤어 나로 마 된다 이게 산 연구 요래.
So the first syllables of Money Mantras, Om, which consisted of 3 syllables, Om, Om.
이게 사모디 조 content 요래스나 거 송토 네 아저데 먹으니나 루가 이 디상적인 총도지가 요래.
This represents the 3 actions: body, the speech, mind.
내가 존데 룽아 이상지고는 좋은 총도 지야 되라 데 아조게 리가 간다지 리가 요나요 조 리가 될란로 정도 먼저데 조 나지고니 깨자시에 돈 로문도 와죠도 아니 루지고니 넘바 조보 정모죠 도 아니 생지고니 아니 조아 주보 제마지 뒤지고 거니 아니 가서 리가동 아니 샤와 공이나 데 란루먼도 게니 데라 잘리디오자 아니 디산 손도 지보고니 예고요래
This mainly it shows that whatever we do or say is mainly done by through this three actions and the body, the mind, and the speech. So it mainly depends on those three things, and to accomplish the things the ones what we accomplish spiritually.
아니 가서 디 진연자 아니 디도네 다다디 오, 맘, 생, 디삼보디오고니, 손지지 거송 토삼, 아니, 먹을 롱아 이상 땡고 진세제레스나 손지세야 땡어, 테마 동보니 코 손지지 칼리오 바텐다 좀 말해. 아니, 아주 쩌동기 소소지고 정원이 아니 코로걸 사정지, 아니 삼바 좀보지, 현재 침보 소용이 용의 감발라 띠니, 아니 코로 손지 정어 좀 무슨 보고 차선 바텐다 저래.
So the Buddha, for example, is not the person that who are the Buddha, in the first place. He's the one like us and who did the virtuous things, and then he becomes the Buddha.
다 대인자 안행이대로 손지 다다 많은 저줬던 리우 거니 아니데 추동 딱 해야 될라 조공에서나 태도 현지 니 많은 저도 전에 태도 현지 아니 많은 저도 레레레지니 마이케자 해야 될라 니노네 렘바 만다와 몸보지 요금이 초만된 잡아지고 돌이야요 레레레지니 계자 해야 되나요 대장 군도가 디노니 나기 수공이 비면서야 돼 디니지고 돈 계자 해야이
To cover the complexities of money mantras, it is symbolic meanings in Tibetan Buddhism. It will be impractical. So I'm going to briefly talk about the things that money mantras represent essentially.
나도 추진노는 난죠 많이 추지做인是那个有人你真正讲的是呢많이 수고니 보티가 아니 현지 침보 저 타지 현지 침보 다 싫어 돈이 또 버히라니 디니지가 거니 조바팀 비진지 많이 추진 현보 인스 된다 나가 요래
In Tibetan Buddhism, the money is considered the essence of the Buddha, Buddha Dharma. It's a money that symbolize the jewels in the Sanskrit, and it symbolized loving kindness and compassion.
네 돈보 많이 있어야 돼 수고니 보티가 현지 침보 된거 요래
The money is represent the great compassion.
아니 현지 침보대 간다저레스나 아니 소소고 저 샤자와도 현지와 아니 소소로니 자와라보 전루나 처마론 삼비 된다가 삼바절라 현지 침보스 내가 요 말에
What is the great compassion? Well, great compassion is not something that concerns only self-interest.
아니 현지 침보스야데 간다저고 돈에 내고레스나 아니 론리 임바 론리 임비가 뭐더서 아니 콘소 당하 도타나 처마론 냠비가 된다가 현지 제와 현지 침보죠라 아니 가서 현지 침보스니마 된다가 돈이 시고 요래
It mainly is put yourself in the shoes of other people and think they beings from your perspective.
아니 내가 현지 침보죠 가서 그거 요나 테마 돈보라 간다저 조고 요래스나 현지 침보대 코로 루바가 타이포산 소바지 짜고 요래
So essentially what we need to do is to find a way that practice compassion.
아니 된다가 타이 치바진데 공 짜고 요래스나 아니 디 루지지요 히레 치바진 데 짜고 요래
That actually connects to the wisdom.
아니 된다가 히레 치바진데 간다레스나 아또 다다 현소고 놀로니 먹은 통돼야죠 또 저 라비가 라데야 된다가 히레죠라 아니 가서 히레 치바진스니 야고요 말에
Well, the wisdom is not something that is what we consider in a society as it is.
아니 된다 히레 치바진데 간다지 야고레스나 가서 니론 타토고 또비 따와 처모 또비 돈이 또비 히레 된다죠라 아니 가서 그데 두지죠 히레 치바진스니 야고요래
Well, it is a wisdom that actually has insights into the realities, emptiness.
아니 된다가 돈이 또 버셔라 조 야고 진체 처리에서나 아좀 소소 뭐 통돼야 대가롱게 dem반진 바통 저 대가롱게 다든진도 봐 몸보죠 요바티니 아니 소소가 노아당 동지 니츠니 보데 먼저와 인자 아니 대라 띠니가 저거죠 니로 용다바죠 동라 용다바죠 동지티 용다바죠 저 못도 진체치 대 두지죠 니론 타토 또 비셔라 된다절라 된다위 싫어절라 고고요래.
Well, actually, it is the base of all actions. So whether you do the path and the method and then the result. I mean, in terms of the Buddhist spiritual path.
아니 된다가 돈이 또 버셔라 대당 아니 뇽지 진보 니 롱줄라 제소아이나 아니 저 소소가 리가리아 되라 용저 랑조야 저동 아니 소소가 저 라종지야 되라 그 용보 저 용야죠 디니가 디니보다 조 공의 용고 요리 세나 롱니라 뇽지 요바 되라 디니 아니 타이시르 그차 디니 저 조제 발라 디니 롱니라 아니 그 용고 코요 저 용고 요리.
Well, if we combine these two things, one is wisdom, the other is compassion, then everything we do will be fruitful.
아니 롱니라 된다 그 용복은 코요 저 용나 다수 롱니가 신 된자를 받고 요래.
And also expand our mind. We're going to have a more open-minded, we can create open-minded environment.
아니 롱니라 된다 그저신 되보 저 정바이나 아니 다수가 저 라종 제바동 추르바동 리가 칸라지 리가요나 디 리가 되라 쇼조비가 삼바죠동 된데 리가 되라 깔리 모용거 자와디 용거 요래.
If we have this kind of state of mind, then we want to achieve something, and then we have this motivation, and then we don't feel tired. We have this strength.
아니 가서 저동 형지 침보롱 강대야 대가롱게 장바죠동 아니 많이 운동대야 대가롱 장게 가서 출로 저동 누구 요리에서나 대장지 출로 진 누구 요 말에. 오야 가서 난종 생한 동야 저동 아니 아주 난조가 많이 동야동 생한 동야 도소라 편바 요리스나 편바 요리더니 이나용 대장지가 아주 편바 침보진도 두고요 말이스.
Well, we think that by reciting these mantras, we can think that accumulate a lot of virtues. But actually, this long is not enough.
아주 뒷니가 되나 조 공고래스나 디위 동다다니 고니 아니 나초가 디두와이나 다주 나초가 저 추두와이나레 리갈리아 체스이나 디게도니 그 용보진달랑데 로야 디도니 로요레.
Well, if we practice these things in this way, then we can be more open-minded.
아니 나초가 된 난종가 저네 많은 어떤데 이게 다 상당히 많은 데도 네 돈이 저 형투고 뭐다. 근데 로레는 형투고 뭐다. 아니 가봤나니 막 하다 자기 거. 내가 좀 많은 동안 뒤 동다 구원 가져다 뒤 동다 구 거차바 지니 뒤 동다 삼바지 제we 지니 아니 대냥슬리 마이나 가좀 생가 공 동바이나 뒤 피용데 상지 맞춰봐 주는 정도 요래.
If we understand the meanings of money mantra, then if you recite it, then it would be inconceivable. Its merit is inconceivable.
아니 대체도 니다 많은 저보디 리리리리 치네마 또 장서 동단 두두 장서 만드는 시기에.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the each syllables, the meanings of each syllables of Mani Mantra.
写早的那个是吧？这个龙啊以上这个没给话的从巴当，你第帮把这个太，你到东部是吧？的龙啊以上这个没给，点从把这个有嘞。
Well, represent the first syllables of Mani Mantras represent the purifications of the three non-virtuous actions: the bodies, the mind, and speech.
这都是把这个龙啊以上就没给话多，引导个他门从话个别接触同交际，点到蒙不就写个有个引导用你带动他别同步的龙啊以上就没给完从把个东西讲呢，多多张是他的写电影。
It represents lots of things, but today I'm going to be very brief.
你龙啊以上就没给话的。 가서 이거 매바 조고 아니나 아니 티 먹게 와 조비가 타이 공료리 세나 많이 세야 티 조고 요래.
In order to purify the three non-virtuous actions, and then we need to adopt the method, money.
저도 많이 세야 돼. 가서 다다 많은 정도야 대용 가서 보여 담아요 말이자 되노니 많이 세야 돼. 보여로 말이 이나요. 가서 티 자가 그 다다 라자기 때 카톡 많은 저거 많이 비면 혼세야티 라자기 때 카톡 맞아 용야 된다 저래.
The money, the syllable itself is not a Tibetan word. It's translated from Sanskrit.
아니 많이 세야티 그 돈다 조 공래에서나 다다티 롱아 이상지 pon지 그 타이 저동 아니 디 루비 진세 공래에서나 노보통 레비가 아니 샹바동 용지 딘리근 총도 제거 요래.
It's represent or inspired us to cultivate great compassions and beings, the ways for all beings to be free from sufferings and find the true happiness.
아니 가서 난조 많이 동데 가시 저거 많이 된다도 요 진짜 쪼보데 공래에서나 그 렘바 몸부터 디니 라마 몸부터 도고 진짜 공래에서나 텔라티니 저 상로 몸부터 동 상로 동도 다 되는 그 그거 저세 그러지나 노보통 대위 장용지 침보데 띵온도 대고 감발라 신 룰 파이브가 치도 니니니니니니니스네 된다 저 마두니 시가 요래.
Was the money, when we recite the money, it actually inspires us to have a great compassion.
아니 쪼디 돈이 따다 디디디 신 파고 진짜 처리세나 손지근 생화 쪼된 손지 공유죠 군 생화 쪼디 생화 때라 띠니 코로니 그 용디 교동 코로니 그 체취 교동 된다 그 손진 생화 때라 띠니 소마 보트고 요래.
It represent the Buddha's enlightened activities and some enlightened deeds.
대저도 이바 대rem바 몸본도 그 진짜 공래세나 콜라 띠니 테마 돈본 생각된 동야라 띠니 디 코로고 송야 송제 코로고 송비 추데 라바지발라 테마 돈보 신나도 배투고요 디진지지 디디디디디스네 rem바 몸보지 종고요래. 콜라 rem바 몸보 디디디세야 난 동고 진짜 공래세나 테마 돈보 코로 신나도 배비치래. 신로보 용바.
Why we need to repeat this di, it actually help us to calm our mind.
아니 가서 다다디 많이 그 롱아 이상지 그 등한테 뽕고나 디비 타이 예 암지역 롱아 이상지 그 등한테 뽕고나 디 뽕지지 많이 형지 침보 많이 동야라 띠니 형지 침보도 혈액치바진데 감바지오동 아니 디 감바티니 무엇이비 그 치도 아니 공저고 요리 세나 가서 비미 세야 된다고 요래.
So in order to purify the non-virtuous action, we need to practice tini,
비미.
yeah, bimi.
니 비미 시자데 공자고를 세나 비미 뒤돈이나 추당지 추당지 롱기 주트비 동아 아니 덴바 주비가 동아 대땡 거 요래.
It's represent the idea that everything is devoid of a true existence. Everything is empty.
디간에 조 된다 추단지 롱기 지주비 동니 땡고 진세 제레세나 빼마 빼면서야데 그 초중 오도는 히나 메토 빼마가 보세고 요래.
Well, the Pema itself represent white lotus flower, and then it means that the absence of intrinsic existence.
저또 메토 니토네 메토 빼마가 보도 자니시고 진세 체레세나 메토데 콘 당리 지와이나 코치사된 담바인 좀콘 당리 지와이나 용 롱이니 쩨마미 보가 저 까보 머선다 저거 띠나이나 요좀 돈지보 이동와 진비 진세지 디코네 고 빼마 돈 돈이 또 버헤레니 보테 빼자니시고 요래.
So even though the lotus the white lotus the lotus flower is in the mud, but actually is free from impurity, and so is the enlightenment.
아니 나초 룽아 이상제 그 당한테 뽐발 또 당신나 룽아 이상제 그 당한테 뽐발라 대 뽐지 제가 형지 침보통 돈이 또 버헤라라 소바 감바 아니 대 감바 때라용 타도나 디 디 감발라 태지 제가 라 야휴데 콘텐고리 세나 돈이 또 버헤라 돈 형지 침보니 뭐 냥든 저와 어야 많이 비면서야 되니 보티 냥든 리비고 거니 얘나 많이 있어야 되고 노브 인바템 바쳐도 비면서야 되고 아니 데 메토 비마 아니 콘서트에서는 노브티 메토 비마리 찍고 와이나 메토 비마도 노브니 보티 냠지 찍고 왔던 통고요래 돈이 또 버헤라 돈 현지 침보니 보티 손지 찍고 왔던 거요래.
It represents the combinations of emptiness and great compassion.
내가 좀 난정동도 아마니 비미 세안데 홍 세야데 지니 마토기 카톡 아마니 비면 홍 아마니 비면 홍 세야 된다 못동케요 같이 요너리.
There is a case that we don't actually recite the last syllables of money mantras to home.
근데 진짜 조 공르세나 홍 세야 저도 암 세야 또 홍 세야 두수 더 세야 된다 공 소마데 손진 생각노고 네 형부고 천루비 진짜 된다래.
The reason is that it actually represent the song,
형부.
the essence of the Buddha, right? 영부로와.
그래. 내 뒤지는 가서데 시베 많은 동거에 아니 된다 초마다 하고 세위 지니 도마 가서데 시바지 세위 지니 아니 뒤에 동텔라 용네 용다 삼바지고 요래.
Once we know the meanings of this, and then we need to habituate, we need to be familiarized is the meanings of it.
아니 뒤에 동 용네 용다 삼바지니 답 돈이 또 버셔라 돈 형제 침볼라 소베 동대 용네 용다 삼바지니 디 지니 돈이 또 버셔라 돈 형제 침볼라 소바 소소 감바지나 소소 로라 감바지에서 야와이나 다주 디 감발라 저거 랑 안조반 강퇴야 저돈 데라 띠니 마솔라 신 조반 신이 팔퇴야 디 용구요래.
If we do this by practicing these money mantras and these things, and then our minds will be more calm and still.
디 진짜 쪼 체레세나 테마 동보 신디 혀도 파마토와지나 아니 디위고 동 신디 혀마토와지나 디위 동 먹어 와동 신 나든 신그 그것도 본줘야 저동 신주저무토와 된다글리까 몸부지 연구요래.
Well, if we cannot practice this, then our mind is narrow and it's powerless and it cannot help us to achieve spiritual goals.
我也等于大家的做嘛，同样的我的现在，你的他做的大家的同样的嘛现在的呢啊，你嘛对他是讲的些个一个啊，哦，提讲的些，等于你做现在，啊的。你弄点用过没得？你他的这家也点弄用过没得？有的，点点。点用就没得。哦，现在就懂了嘛，写的呢。也说哎，也查什么？哦呀，你用那种那种嘛那个的，东北人把的了，人把门这把门着我们不有的，你那个你东北你的这把开始就懂那些钱，东北是把这个全部跑入的全部去那用手做吧，这点个有的。
We'll move on the mantra, which supports the practice of 6 perfections, which are foundational virtues in Buddhism. Om, the complete, represent the complete quality of generosities, encouraging the selfless giving.
네 거리고. 네 아지야 대충 이제 또 뭐. 네. 네 미세야 돼 츠르지 바로도 쳔바 추나 용서 조반지 바데 된다지 된거 요래.
May enhance the perfections of ethics, promoting moral integrity.
아니 니세야 돼 zupu 바로도 쳔바 되니 용서 조바 된다지 된거 요래.
Needs develops the perfections of patience, fostering this resilience.
네 비세야 돼가 츠지 종르지 바로 쳔바 종르지 바로 용서 쳔바 돼 조바 된거 요래.
B strengthens the perfections of these diligence, inspiring efforts in practice.
네 미세야 돼가 상대지 바로 쳔바 용서 조바 된거 요래.
Means the deepens the perfections of concentration, leading to the mental clarity.
혼 세야 되가 혈액이 바로도 쳔바 용서 혈액이 바로도 쳔바 추나 용서 조바데 된거 요래.
Also fulfills the perfections of wisdoms, helping us to understand the reality.
이반데레. 너도 이래 뭐. 아니 용 많은 저저디가 소소라 저 우준 좋아 된다 암 세바디 콘텐 거스나 아니 초근 우주 된다 된거 요래.
By reciting the mantras, we can achieve the significant spiritual goals.
네 미세야 된 토모근 우주 된거 요래.
Om brings supreme accomplishment, and the May fostering the common realization, enhancing or everyday wisdom.
니 세야 되가 니동시위가 우주 좋아 된거 요래.
Ni facilitate pacifications of illness and negative influence, promoting healthy and well-being.
이 세야 되가 아니 세수지 우주 소소란 좋아한테 된다지 된거 요래.
It supports the attainment of long life merit.
니 미세야 되가 롱주 다위가 우주 된다지 좋아 된거 요래.
May increase the wealthy, both materialistically and spiritually.
내가 저 혼세야 되가 해대동 찬통 우주 된다지 좋아 된거 요래.
All encourage harmonies and peace, which are essential for the personal and the communal well-being.
你人嘛上班的用马尼主播的个做工的个人是呢用你是这个牛么多啊，多小啊，的定个有嘞。
Now let's explore how reciting these six syllables of money mantras purifies the root
没是
afflictions,
的
the cause and sufferings. Oms purifies ignorance, which is the first, which is the root of misunderstanding the reality. Me pacifies the anger, transforming it into patience.
没查上嘞，
Ni tamasta.
你查嘛啥？你是这个现那东现那小话定个有嘞。
Nis purifies greed, helping us cultivate and containment.
B 是这个多恰小话定个有嘞。
B purifies the desires, encouraging the detachment.
你没是这个差多小话定个有嘞。
Me pacifies jealousies, fostering joys in others' success.
你按照红是这个俺家就主要打吧，就话定个有嘞。
Home purifies the pride, leading us to humility.
他听到查上嘞。但你做个这种马能这我懂那些呢点到就是一那样，他就这种读书的嘞，点到毛不就没个说个地方的多半的有呢，看到人家那教科是嘛。
So this is a brief coverage of these meanings of each six syllables of money mantra and its symbolic meaning. Because of the time, now I'm going to stop here.
哎呀，他怎么这些的了？
And thank you everyone. 다시 delay.
就是法师，我想问，Om Mani Padme Hum 这个咒语就是非常广泛，甚至《西游记》里面大家都会看到，它介于可以说它是宗教的，有时候也不是那么宗教的。那我们修行这个 Om Mani Padme Hum 是不是需要什么条件？因为密宗有时候需要灌顶或者是有传承才可以修，否则甚至会。那我再用英文跟大家解释一遍。So we're talking about practice on the religious chanting mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. So which this 6 syllables is very, very popular. Even you can see in the current days, even the Black Wukong, they will also talk about a lot of this mantra. So according to official Tibetan Buddhism tradition. So is there any limitation or we have to got some permission first to really practice this mantra?
음, 那个炉子真言，我们平时读这个炉子真言和我们学习这个炉子真言是不需要关灯呀什么之类的，任何都不需要。如果你不管是炉子那个信主和那个修这个法门的时候，需要什么样的？就是需要一个第一自己的上师关灯你第二自己的上师亲口传给你 这样才能我们可以修。那这个修就一个字，什么叫呢？我们藏文里面就修或者是就，它的中文里面什么意思呢？弥或者是不弥补。那什么意思？就是改变自己的心态。如果真正的我们修行自己的心态，改那个心态的时候，我们自己一个人去一个山洞呀什么之类的，你就修这个法，那不可能的一个事情，必须得通过自己的常识灌顶传承，才你修这个法。那这个修这个法的时候，自己的心和首先呢看一下这个它的意义，然后呢这个意义和自己这个意义融入到自己的心里面，才能修得到这个法。所以这个是刚才那个高老师问的问题，就是如果你修这个的东西，必须得需要观点传承，其他看这个东西学习这个东西的时候不需要。
Thank you. Last question， 就是我曾经有一位师父，他告诉我们，就讲这个的时候，其中还有师父身边一个修行很好的一个，我们叫做修行的师兄吧。他说这里念的时候是7个字，只是把一个字给省略了，是 Om Mani Padme Hum，Om Mani Padme Hum，这就是说把那个的字给省略掉了。但是我们比如像我们到五台山转塔的时候，就是念的是 Om Mani Padme Hum， 那这个的是没有的是吧？
我们平时说
谢谢
阿玛尼比面红是有一个字是没有的，是这个字没有的，其他的阿玛尼比面红这个是有的，但是这个红呢，我们念出来的时候，有些阿玛尼比面红不是声音特别大，但是后面加的时候就是是。
就是舍了是吗？
对，舍的这个字是后来才加的，以前是没有的。炉子这样阿玛尼比面红是都有的。
就正确的法师能带我们念3遍吗？你看看。
哎，好
谢。
玛呢比面，我就是有点那个梵文的那个有一个石头，但是我就现在就完全都用藏文念啊。玛呢比面红，玛呢比面红，玛呢比面红。
谢谢法师。
诶，刚才我们还想就是确认一下，是不是如果练这个，是不是可以自己练，还是必须经过上师或者是骑马？是不是可以对着 YouTube 就可以开始练了，还是怎么回事？
对你就是念这个东西的时候可以自己念，但是你修这个东西的时候必须得通过上师。打个比方来说，我是特别开玩笑的说你一个学生特别聪明，但是你自己一个人在屋子里面学什么东西都是学的不是特别好，但是你可以学这个东西。如果你就是这个学生再遇到一个特别好的一个老师给你带了这个学生呢，那这个学生进步马上就好多了，就这个意思。
So I translate a little bit in English. So the principle is that if you like to try practice the chanting mantra like Om Mani Padme Hum, yeah, it's fine. You can try by yourself. There's no harm. But if you really like to train like professional training, so it is impossible that you can do that without permission or knowledge from your master. So that's the key point. Okay, great. So let's thank Rinpoche, Venerable Rinpa. Thank you. So let me introduce the next speaker. also our last one, which is Venerable Fanti. Venerable Fanti, he comes from Donglin Temple in Jiangxi Province. Donglin Temple is the largest Pure Land Buddhism section and a temple in China, actually in the world. So they have sometimes 10,000 people there chanting Amitabha Buddha together. So he is in charge of the Lotus School Medical Research Institute. And previously, he was also responsible for teaching the foundational courses at the local Pure Land Buddhism Academy and served as the vice president of that academy. So Venerable Fanti holds a medical doctor degree as well. So he may speak his PowerPoint today also in English. Thank you. Welcome.
Namo Amitabha Buddha. Venerable Master Heng Hong, distinguished Masters Dr. Gao, and comrades and friends, dear practitioners, good afternoon. I'm honored to have the opportunity to attend this forum organized by the Buddhist Study Center in Hong Kong University. I wish I could do my best to express clearly. This is the first time for me to speak English in the lecture. Hope you could enjoy my good Chinglish. Today's topic is, as it shows, the integrating Pure Land practices in contemporary life. Here, show you the contents. There are 5 main points. First, why do we need to practice Buddhism? Philosophy of practice in Pure Land Dharma. The third, how to practice Pure Land Dharma in modern society. The fourth and the fifth is the introduction to my monastery and my Lotus Medical Center. First, why do we need to practice Buddhism? Now we sit here peacefully, but we only care about our own matters. Let us try to think about the outside world. From these famous frightful photos, we know that disasters, wars, and diseases are everywhere and will happen every time. Don't you think it's very frightful? There were and they are going to be so many disasters, miserable stories in this teeny dust-like world. In the universe, what is the cause of these problems? Usually, we seek only the superficial and near cause. Never think about the deep and distant one. For example, a tsunami might not be solely the result of tectonic plate movements under the sea. Could it be that two underworld forces are fighting beneath the ocean, triggering the earthquake and the consequent tsunami? I think nobody can deny this possibility. But why do they fight? Because of mutual hatred at their previous life. This is the result of anger, one of the 3 poisons in Buddhism. What are the 3 poisons? Hatred, greed, and ignorance, as in Chinese, 嗔、贪、痴. This is the source of all the delusions we met. Ordinary people don't understand of this theory without accept Buddha's teaching. Few of us know who I am, who we are. We are so ignorant that we always mistake the false body as a real me, real self. Venerable Hin Hong explained this point very clearly in one of the book I read. You may also ask Dr. Gao to get this book. Like this. For example, do I really become prettier after dressing or plastic surgery? If it will, it means that the cosmetic can become part of me. Is that true? Another example, when one sweeps tombs during the Chanting festival in April, he often thinks that his father remains in the grave after his death. Is it true that his father still exists in the tomb? Could he eat anything his children provide here for him? None, however. Where is he? Why do we believe that we are still alive if we lose our arms or limbs after an accident? Even all the organs were removed and only the brain is there. Like the famous scientist, Mr. Hawking, we believe that he is still alive. Then, in fact, where I am in the brain, in which cell or cells? In which cell or cells? Even scientists could not find a specific location. Just like the driver of a car who has been driving for a long time and suddenly sometimes forgets himself one day. He mistakes the car as himself, taking the car limbs as his eyes, lamps as his eyes, and the wheels as his limbs. If the car can run well, it means he is healthy. If the car cannot run well, it means he is in disease. If the car was scrapped, say he was dead. In fact, the car is jangled, but the driver inside is not dead. Therefore, when our body dies, the real self does not die. Don't mistake the false body as the real self. My is not equal I. Then we know that we might not die forever. But unfortunately, be reincarnated in evil circle. How to find the real self and don't let us fall into samsara. We need a solution. We need a remedy and a nectar. To solve these problems, we need a physician could only treat our somatic or mental diseases. He has no method for the liberation of our soul or spirit. The solution is at the side of the holy king, the Shakyamuni Buddha. He gave us nectar. Shakyamuni Buddha has provided us with his teaching, with 84,000 methods to find the real self, the Mataham. As an analogy, there are 84,000 ways, passes to the top of the Himalaya mountain. Our ancestral masters have summarized this method into two main groups: the usual methods and the special method. The path of practicing in accordance with the sixth parameter or sixth perfection is the ordinary way. And our praying and relying on the Buddha's or Bodhisattva's power to salvation, for the salvation and the liberation is a special way. Our praying to Buddha to be reborn in the world of bliss belongs to the last one. By the way, attention please, most of the Buddha I mentioned here is to say Amitabha. Chanting the Buddha's name is to say chanting Nam Amitofo or Amitabha. Now I introduce the philosophy of the practice in Pure Land Dharma. First, the three elements or factors for achieving rebirth, that is faith, vows, and practice. They are the cornerstones of cultivation of Pure Land Dharma. It is also called the three accumulations. If they are present correctly, rebirth in the Pure Land is assured. Now, I simply explain the meaning of these three elements. Faith is to believe that the existence of the Western Pure Land and the existence of a Buddha called Amitabha. Second, vows means the determination or aspiration to be reborn in the Pure Land. Practice, usually we point to when want to recite Buddha's name. What is the interrelationship of these 3 points? Although named 3, they are really 1. For heuristic reasons, ancestral masters explain faith, vows, and practice separately, but emphasizing the crucial nature of each one. However, these 3 preconditions for rebirth in the Pure Land are 1 and inseparable. True faith naturally leads to vows and practice, while correct practice cannot exist independent of faith and vows. Ancestral Master Yi, the 9th Pure Land Patriarch, has said, to reborn in the Pure Land depends entirely upon faith and vows. The grade of rebirth, high or low, depends on whether one's practice is deep or shallow. is more or less. He further added, without faith and vows, you cannot be reborn, even if you recite the Buddha's name without any delusions. Those who are assiduous but lack faith and vows will merely obtain some of merits and blessings, like a beggar to speak Amitabha Buddha many, many times, but he only asks you for money, right? You can only get your money, but cannot go to the Western side. Others will fall into the samsara. Secondly, the theory about rebirth to the Pure Land is karma. It was very difficult for ordinary people to eliminate the karma we made and purify oneself with his own cultivation. Therefore, Buddha's great mercy allows us to change our practice environment and eliminate karma in another world. Why can we go there even if we have karma? As the Nansen Sutra told us, the king asked the bhikkhu Nansen, I don't believe an old person with heavy karmas can be reborn in the Buddhist realm only by chanting, reciting Buddha's name. The bhikkhu replied, if you carry a big stone on a ship, the stone will not cause you to be drowned. If without the ship's power, even a small stone or sand will sink. Although people have original bad deeds, if they recite Buddha's name at the end of their lives, they won't fall into hell. Those small stones that sink are like those who do bad things but don't know to rely on Buddha's power. And they will fall into evil paths. Here, the ship is used to symbolize the power of Buddhas, and the stone represent their evil deeds. This analogy explains why Pure Land Buddhism is a special and easy way for cultivation. The three roots. Different roots, uprooted or low-rooted, the sharp or dull, are universally accepted, the reborn in the Pure Land. The Pure Land Dharma is suitable for beings of all kinds of root nature to practice. It is easy to land and is the foremost convenient method, as long as one always recites Namo Amitabha Buddha or Namo Amitabha in Chinese. One can rely on Amitabha Buddha's wish to be reborn in the Pure Land. The next point I want to show you is how to practice Pure Land Dharma in modern society. As the Buddha predicted that we have now entered into the last Dharma spread period, we have to transcend the circle of birth and death in contemporary life, modern society. Technology and material things are developing very fast, but people's mind and morality are getting worse and worse. The fast pace of life and the pressure from work and family made people to have no dedicated time for the practice of Dharma. People are plagued by all kinds of problems, as I shared with you at the beginning of my talk. However, the method of chanting Buddha's name can help us transcending these difficulties and find inner peace. It is especially appropriate for home-based believers to practice. It is possible to turn the mundane or secular world into a cultivation place and to realize the cultivation in daily life easily. We can recite the Buddha's name while walking, living, even sitting or lying down before sleep. And all kinds of environment don't hinder us from doing so. When faced with difficult problems, when you are panicked and anxious, you can stabilize your emotion and deal with things rationally by a few moments of chanting Buddha's name. Through chanting the Buddha's name full-heartedly, you can easily elevate your burning desire and anger. Buddha's name, like a cleaning jewelry that make the dirty water more and more clear. It also can help us to adjust our physical and mental state. The three poisons will be elevated by the nectar from the Buddha. Please always remember to recite Nama Amidabha in case of emergency, such as tsunami, earthquake, and even several severe diseases and so on. Many real miraculous things may happen or happened, as recorded in this book. We named as a contemporary stories collection about Pure Land Buddhism practice, edited in my temple. Now, I give you a brief introduction of this book. They have 5 chapters and 111 stories. First chapter is for improving your faith. Second is to cure disease. Third is to protect fetus. Fourth is to overcome our difficulties or disasters. The fifth is to stories about rebirth in the Pure Land. Totally 110 stories, and the second chapter is the most. It has 53 stories, including 7 parts. First is for mental and psychological diseases. Second is for brain diseases. Third, carcinoma, liver disease, and rehabilitating ability. The last 2 is for heart disease and other diseases. Now I choose several case reports from this book. If the time permit, I will completely speak to you the 5 one. First, a story about a practitioner named Yan Liang. One day, he had a vivid dream in which someone told him, "Oh, your master is at the Dongnan Temple. Please go there. He can teach you and save you." Then he's very interested. where is the Dongling temple? Then he find. He find a temple in Zhejiang province. He go there, but find no monk there. So he came back, and somebody told him, there is another Dongling temple in Jiangxi. Then they decided to go to Jiangxi. On the train to the Jiangxi province, there were seen before his eye. He saw an old monk sitting under a very big tree with widespread roots and lush leaves. Then when they arrived to the temple and entered the temple, he found really a monk sitting under a big tree shows before his eyes on the train. Then he bowed to the monk, and he said, oh, I found my teacher. Then he get 5 precepts in the monastery and try to practice Buddhism. After 6 years of chanting Buddha's name, he passed away. And the abbot of our monastery in that time, Guyi, the abbot, tried to preside a 7-day ceremony for help his rebirth. Then the family members told the others that during the ceremony there were clear sounds of Dharma instruments and sounds of chanting Buddha's name inside and outside of his room. The sounds continued also for 7 days. Nobody made these sounds on site. They said it's a miracle. Second story, in May 2018, I suddenly suffered from depression, severe insomnia, not wanting to talk, no appetite, and prone to anger. So I began to study Buddhism and recite Buddha's name. And about 1 month later, my mental health was improved prominently. Although there were several relapses, it only takes half a year to cure, to get a full recovery. The third story is told by a mother of the patient. When my daughter was 8 years old, she had a heart disease, which could cause fatal arrhythmia and shock, and was in a deep coma for 21 days. After being rescued successfully, she had recurrent attacks for the next 20 years. In June 2011, the condition was more severe. Within 10 hours, she was given electric shock for 6 times. Her father told the doctor that if it was hopeless, they should stop shocking her. But when my daughter's breath was very weak, she could keep chanting Buddha's name very slowly and very slowly. Doctors and nurses advised her not to chant anymore. And then they found her vital signs totally disappeared. I stopped their further rescuing and continued to recite Nam Amidofo slowly beside her bed. After an unknown period, I saw many strangers around us, all chanting Buddha's name together. Later on, someone suddenly shouted, "Oh, she was back! She was back!" Then we all saw that the lines on the screen of the monitor had returned to be normal. And she woke up and was discharged from the hospital after full recovery. Everyone, including doctors and nurses, was very excited and surprising. All said this was a miracle. After returning home, my daughter started her Buddhism practice. In the next 4 years, she had no recurrent attack. I also met a case when I was a doctor in the emergency room. A 60-year-old woman was sent in the emergency room, died for hours. No vital signs, worthless to be rescued. So I gave no medicine or electric shock. But her heart rhythm appeared steadily on the monitor screen for several minutes after her daughter's sincerely chanting Buddha's name loudly beside her bed. Although no heartbeats appeared, I think that her soul became stable when she heard the daughter's chanting. Next, a female lay Buddhist in our monastery said that she used to chant Buddha's name casually and not to be so diligent. But after experiencing a disaster, she firmly believed the Buddhism and became more dedicated. She once had a severe traffic accident while riding in a minibus. She was in a daze and felt someone gently lifted her up and dragged him out of the minibus before she knew the attack. Then she lost consciousness. When she woke up, she found that all the passengers and the drivers were dead except her, and she was sitting on a corpse, unharmed. She thought, oh, it was the Buddha and the Bodhisattva who saved her. Master Hui Kuang of a temple took refuge at the age of 17 and received full precepts at the age of 26. Throughout her life, 3 aspects of the cultivation are prominent. She was very hardworking and never got angry to others. Second, she is strictly obey precepts and had no savings. She cared for others and loved them. 5 days before Master's passing away at the age of 84, she stopped eating and drinking, lying silently and chanting Buddha's name. 5 days later, she passed away peacefully in a sitting position. Before and after her passing, the temple was filled with fragrance. Everybody smelled. For 7 days before her passing, some lay Buddhists from other places dreamed that the Master told them the same words. I'm leaving. You should protect the temple. Well, after her passing, the Master's sitting niche was placed in a very wet-built small room, and after 9 years, the niche was opened. It was found that the walls and the ground of the house, even the The wood were wet, were rotted. However, the flesh body was still well preserved. The next day, his disciple, another bhikkhuni's tomb was also opened, and the flesh body was found to be well preserved in one temple, 2 Bodhisattva. Next, my sister Nan Ying became deaf and mute after an illness at the age of 4. At the age of 58, she suffered from throat cancer. She was in pain all over and had no money for treatment. I put a Buddha chanting device near her ear, praying the sound of the name of Amitabha Buddha for 24 hours a day. Local lay Buddhists went to my sister's home. Several of them took turns to chant for her every day. After 7 days of chanting, she could hear that the Buddha chanting speaker was too loud, the sound was too loud, and indicated me to turn down the volume. She used to be completely deaf. Her children and the lay Buddhists all knelt down and chanted loudly. Before she passed away, she suddenly put her hands together, smiled, and loudly chanted 3 times, Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. After a while, she closed her eyes and stopped breathing. After 24 hours of additional help chanting by lay Buddhists, her head was warm, becomes warm on the top of her head. Her body was soft and flexible. Her face was peaceful. And after burning, her body appeared a colorful sharia relics flower, and 2 relics beads were found. Now the 4th point. Tongling Temple has 2 sites, an ancestral one and a modern Great Buddha site. It's very famous now. The abode is Venerable Da'an, and the former 2 are Venerable Master Gu Yi and Master Chuan Ying, as you may know. Here, show you the chanting style in Tongling Monastery. Oh, the machine I don't want how to operate. Namo Amitofo. The second, Namo Amitofo. Namo Amitofo. Namo Amitofo. 4 repeated times. Here is the practice model in my temple. We have practical subjects such as 24 hours continuous chanting. Buddha 2 means 2 days of practice. Usually is fixed at the date of 12th and 13th every month. 12 hours a day for chanting Buddha's name. 2 short Buddha 7, in Chinese 佛七, are held during the official holidays of May and October. This month, we also practiced 7 days. And one non-Buddha 7 in winter times. It is 49 days of practicing. 1 million times of Buddha's name chanting retreat in a fixed place on the mountain is held for 10 days in every half of a month. Through this practice, one can strengthen his or her faith. Some people have been blessed and had illness cured, as a report here. The writer had a good friend who had lung cancer, prepared for regular chemotherapy. They finally had a chance to attend a retreat at the Dongling Temple together. After 24 days of chanting, when his friend came out of the room in which he had stayed, his complexion became very ruddy, red means, and shiny, with a joyful state of mind, and the symptoms he had will disappear. The final CT scan showed that the malignant tumor, which was 56 millimeter before, became smaller to 11 millimeter and calcified. It improved his faith in Pure Land Buddhism. Now, at the end of my talk, let me give you a brief introduction to Lotus Medical Center in my temple. LMC is the abbreviation of the Institute of Psychosomatic Medicine on Pure Land Buddhism. The purpose of constructing this department is like the study center in Hong Kong University. Try to collect some effective cases and data from practitioners to certify the real role of Pure Land Buddhism, which may give those who doubt about the Dharma more faith power. Recently, we did a study of the effects of Buddhist chanting on those who have incapable cognitive function through scale surveys and the hardware EEG analysis. Here is the EEG analysis method. The hardware device was used is named Cicada and Zen, and it is a hardware device. One do the test according to the voice instruction from the app in a mobile, such as relaxing, opening one's eyes, closing one's eyes, concentrating. After 6-minute detection, the collected data will be transferred to the central analysis system, and then a comprehensive report that contains 21 objective quantitative indicators will be output to the volunteer's mobile phone app. Here's the name of the 21 parameters and its English name, abbreviation. If you are interested in this and want to learn more, you can scale. You can scan this code to get more information. Now I give you a report of our study. According to our previous study from the May and July, there are 132 cases of EEG data were collected from the Buddhist practitioner in Shandong province. And the control group was the EEG data that elected randomly for 5 groups of the ordinary people based on a 1.1 ratio of gender and age from the bigger data base. The result shows that compared to the ordinary people, Buddhist practitioners have a better brain physiological and cognitive and emotional status, as shown in the chart here. The study in Shandong Group Province shows the average brain age is younger than the actual age, which has a statistically significance, while the control group had no significant difference. We also collect 72 cases of EEG data from the Buddhist practitioner outside of Shandong province, and the control group data were collected from the big database. The study result is similar to the previous one. However, it's a little bit worse. In terms of the medical status index, such as anxiety tendency index, depression tendency index, and the external apprehensive index, there is no significant difference between the two groups. It indicates that we need to do more strict and accurate studies in the future. And now we are planning to conduct a new object study to research the impact of chanting the Buddha's name on Alzheimer's disease in the future. Near the end of my lecture, I sincerely give you an advice. Please don't sit in front of the computer and stay at your phone, mobile, for a long time. Just close your eyes or go outside to try to recite the Buddha's name or Bodhisattva's name, Om Mani Padme Hum, for 10 minutes. After each 1 or 2 hours. It's also good rest. Please don't forget that we may face death any time. And remember to ask for the help of Amitabha Buddha or Namo Avalokitesattvā, Guanxin Pusa. At the moment, there is no need for us to be scared of the death, because now we know that it's not a death. It's a rare opportunity that we could liberate our soul. We can get a greater help from the Buddha. He is the boss of the largest and the safest insurance company in the universe. Thank you for your patient listening. That's all. I wish you all the best. Oh, 35 minutes. Now we have the 5 to 10 minutes. The chairman told us for a short discussion. Let's share our feelings and opinions together.
Any questions from the audience?
We ask the interpreter for help if in English. Nobody?
Hello, Venerable. I'm very interested in the 莲宗身心医学研究所 you have mentioned. So, could you introduce a little bit more?
Oh, our department is only at the beginning. It is constructed this year at the springtime, so not more than 1 year. And I was asked to be responsible for this department. This department, because the abbot Dan An master, he is very interested in this kind of study, because he knew the ordinary people, even those who is, for example, scientists, they only believe data. You don't believe, where is Amitabha? Where is Amitabha? You show me. If you cannot show to him Amitabha, he said, I don't believe. He don't believe the words, the books transferred from our ancient times. For example, there are many cases. He said, oh, no. So now we try to use the modern technology, like Venerable Heng Hong and his group study in the university. To try to, in Chinese, 先以欲购前，后令入佛智, try to lead them to the world of Buddhism by the way of their desire, to adapt for their desire. But many difficulties also I met because it is not so easy to do this kind of study, even especially in mainland, of the policy, you know.
Amitabha, I want to ask because I saw in your PPT you mentioned the 念佛安养院, the nursing house for the elder people to recite Namo Amitabha. Would you share us more about the practice and the development stage of this kind of nursing homes in mainland China?
In China or in our temple?
It's both okay.
Outside, I only go to the Guangdong province, Guangzhou city. They are trying to manage this kind of things, help others also. In Dongnan Monastery, we have a node, 念佛安养院, node one. It is constructed for only the volunteers worked in the do volunteer jobs in the temple for many years, and has many conditions for entry. Now there are 200 older persons, older volunteers, especially the lay persons, lived in this this 安养院and but a new one, very large, is constructed and is prepared for use on the next month. It's very big and will be help many others from not the volunteers, maybe for ordinary people to come to the 安养院 to practice chanting and give them hospice care. The new one, maybe you need to apply for the living place. I think is much more easier to end if you have the belief and a little bit of economic condition is enough. Maybe you are permitted.
Venerable, may I follow up a bit about the case you have shared in the presentation about the brain cancer? Maybe you said keep to treatment with the Amitabha name, and then for several days, and then it's the case becomes a bit better. May I clarify? Is that any other kinds of treatment that patient has having at that moment at the same time, or the patient just stop all the kind of the treatment but keep the Amitabha treatment only?
Maybe I don't have a good comprehension for you. Dr. Gao, can you interpret his words in Chinese? Maybe.
脑那个 case， 脑袋里面有个脑癌那个 case。
脑癌 ，not 脑癌 ，throat cancer，throat cancer。
哦，那这病人他是用那个治疗的时候是停了其他的治疗吗？
That's a deaf and a mute one. Usually, for the severe patient, if the treatment is useless, we can persuade them to stop. If it's a little bit useful and the family member want to use, it's also okay, no problem. But we try not to give them a useless treatment. For example, electric shock for a dead person is useless. So don't do that, because just several hours after his death, his consciousness didn't go outside of the body. He can still have a sense of pain, very painful for a press. Is not good for rebirth to the Pure Land. So we try not to do any useless, and it will cause any pain. The dead person may feel painful after his death, even he was dead. Is it clear? Usually for me, if I have a heart attack, I ask before I told others, don't do that, don't do that for me, because it's we will hinder the person from going to the Pure Land. He may be very angry, he's very miserable in that time. Yeah. But for ordinary diseases, if you have a chance to be cured with medicine, we don't reject. We asked them, "Oh, you can try. You can try even Chinese medicine for carcinoma person. You can also do the chemotherapy like this, and 双管齐下 in Chinese, 2 ways at the same time."
Venerable, thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question. Can you share with us, if someone wants to practice the Pure Land method, can you share with us a sort of daily practice from, how we start? Do we just chant, or would you recommend that we, what are the sort of preparatory steps? What are the few steps that we should do, and then getting to the chanting, and then how do we finish the practice? If we want to do a daily practice every day, what is your, what can you share with us? Thank you.
I understand, I think. For the beginners, even the lay, the ordinary practitioner in family or when they are work in the when they are work, you can practice. First of all, try to build faith and vows. It's very important. First, you should understand a little bit about this Dharma door. But if you have doubt, no matter, then you try to practice. You just come to Dongnan Temple in a holiday for 2 days of chanting. It's okay. Even 1 day is okay. Maybe you have some 感应, 怎么说, induction with the Buddha or Bodhisattva. For example, that guy before you, he also had a many induction. You can, there is real Buddha. Then your faith and vow will be naturally appear. Then you can go to the Pure Land, even you chant Buddha's name 10 times a day and persistently and continuously without any doubt. You can go there. There's no doubt. But usually we are not so busy, just can only chant 10 times. We can do it every time. For example, when I drive a car, I can chant, no problem. Driving the car and chanting the Buddha's name. And even somebody can remember the times he repeated the chanting. And when you do home jobs, for example, you do cooking, you can Nama Amitabha, even sing the Amitabha's name. It's very delightful, I think. You can practice every day, every time, if you have the faith, true faith. You needn't to count the number. You needn't count the number. But you also can have a fixed time to practice is also very important. For example, half an hour a day, 1 hour a day is also very good. You can get induction very soon. For example, in the retreat room, many persons have inductions from other shore in the universe.
Okay, yeah. In Dongling Temple, they do have a regular retreat there, which is very intensive, Chanting Amitabha. So you may know more about that at our workshop, so that Venerable Fanti will also introduce that. And also we have, if you like to chanting mantra, also Rinpoche Riba will teach us. So yeah, let's thank Venerable Fanti first.
Welcome to Dongnan Temple. Every time you are welcome. Okay.
So I'm making closing remarks, after which we will have a tea break, and then there's a workshop. So yeah, this is the end of the very wonderful conference, which we have covered very important topics on the Buddha spirit, and this is especially precious in the age of the coming AI. That is, spirituality may become so important. So this conference has covered both the academic work like yesterday and more practical today. So this is very unique indeed. We have both scientific evidence and practical teachings. And we think the scientific effort, it's very fundamental, and this is really presented anywhere in the world. And although it's very difficult, but as Venerable Hing Hong has mentioned, it would be extremely helpful to lay the fundamentals for our people, especially nowadays. People are going more scientific, so you have to also go to scientific, so also can understand us better. So we also have wild collaborations with authors like Professor Rimbo Ho from the Center on Behavioral Health. We talk on art therapy, and Dr. Gao on the evolution of consciousness from ancient times to the future, and Dr. Bonnie, who has a talk on the awareness training program, which is our major program in here at invented by Venerable Hing Hong. And we also have expert in Europe, like Dr. Stavros. He talked about the music therapy using advanced neurotechnology, neuroimaging, and how that will help us, the elderly, from the dementia. And also Dr. Perry Gemma from Australia. He is a PhD degree and also a traditional spiritual chanting, which he experienced a lot of forms of chanting, especially the online forms, where we can also learn from them and have contact with global citizens. So, and also, of course, today, Venerable Hing Hong goes through all the wonderful scientific works here. Actually, it's very rare that Venerable Hing Hong, as a monk, he knows the difference between the left and the right amygdala. Can you never ever know this? I guess 99% won't know that. Even for the neuroscientists, more than half of them will not be able to notice the difference between the left and the right amygdala. So this is very specific, and of course we thank Venerable Hing Hong's support for all this persistent work in the past decades. And of course we have Dr. Ernest Wu, who introduced the chanting Buddha in various traditions, and the wonderful jobs that the Dongling Going has done in a global scale. We also have Georginy to talk about his work and book on no lotus, and he is an excellent clinical psychologist and a Buddhism counselor. So we also have more practical work in the afternoon, like Rinpoche Ripa, to explain the chanting of mantra of 6 syllables, which is the most popular one. And he, of course, will teach us, if you like, after this in a workshop. And then the Venerable Fanti about the explain the chanting Amitabha, which is the most popular practice in the Asian area. After this, of course, also you can have the chance to learn from him directly about Venerable Fanti's work in the Dongling Temple, and I know they do have a lot of retreat, and some of them are very intense. Maybe follows the Amitabha Sutra. So you are welcome to see whether there's a chance you can practice that in Dongling Temple. Of course, we also finally, we have a wonderful workshop yesterday so the audience here, you can join flying the UFO by your mind. So we can try the BCI. Also, we can try it here today, but mainly we're going to practice. And also Dr. Huang Gan from Shenzhen University, they're excellent neuroengineer, so can show you brain waves, how your brain waves works exactly in the lab. So yeah, all these are wonderful combinations of scientific method and practice, which is also the University of Hong Kong has devoted for academic work and knowledge exchange for the good list for our human future, especially in the coming age of AI, where there is both excitement and, of course, potential danger. So I thank everybody here to attend our conference, and also the support of Faculty of Arts and the Center of Behavior Health, our Center CBS, and of course the Dongling Goyin, who has been always supporting our center and the Buddhism works in the world. And again, we should give a big plus to the video teams from Buddhism Door, who can give us very, very professional work on this. Yeah, okay, so thank you so much. Let's have a tea break, and then after that, maybe at 4:20, you can come back if you have more interest to learn practically the religious chanting of mantra or Amitabha Buddha, or both. Thank you.
3 to the okay. B30th Buddhist Counselling. B30th Buddhist Counselling.
like lineage or permission, something like that. It will cost about 10 minutes. So Hemi, we can do it a practice here. So for 10 minutes, so that you may after that you can try to practice chanting mantra. Yeah, you just let me know to see how many people would like it. Also, if you have always questions for Venerable Fanti, you can also ask him. He will also be here. And yeah, additionally, if other people would like to try the UFO things, we'll also bring here. You may try it after a while. Yeah. Well, how many would like to try the mantra? Mantra. Okay. I just had a conversation with Rinpoche Venerable Repa, and he said he like to teach you the chanting mantra. It has to be a bit private. And that means maybe nobody else should be. So it has to be in a separate room. In that case, we will let Venerable Fanti to teach on the chanting Amitabha first. He can teach us, and of course, you can also ask questions on this. Let's see how long it lasts. Like maybe 20 minutes, and then after that, we will go to the session of learning mantra. Okay.
念佛嘛，现在全国各地乃至全世界念佛的方式呢，是应该是百花齐放啊，每个人的好药都不一样啊。这个，我们东林寺呢，就是大安法师来了呢，就倡导了一种，东林佛号的这个比较特殊的修法。这个东林佛号就像我刚才在 presentation 里面放的，这个呢，它适合于什么呢？适合于比较长时间的修行，特别适合于比较长时间的修行。好像我们一天12 hours continuously we practice the chanting 它特别适合。为什么呢？它速度慢，the rhythm is very slow and walk very slowly，不太会耗体力，然后呢，也不会觉得这个声带也不会觉得比较累啊。这样的话呢，你就可以长时间的可以沉浸在这个佛号里面。东林佛号呢，它就是类似于印光大师的在灵岩山的那种佛号，灵岩山的佛号啊，印光祖师倡导的，其韵律跟它差不多，就是拉长了一点，慢了一点啊，它是边唱边走比较合适啊，边唱，然后边走就像刚才视频里面看的那个唱的时候呢，就是6个字南无阿弥陀佛，然后南无慢右脚你唱到南无的时候呢，你就慢一小步右脚，然后阿弥的时候就慢左脚了陀慢右脚，佛慢左脚，这就完成了一句第一句，然后后面的都是这样重复，然后一共是4句。我刚才说了，它是4句一个循环这个4句呢有点每一句都有一点那种特色。我们大安法师总结呢，这4句的唱法大概包含了这个类似于西方极乐世界的那种音声的特质就是清唱哀亮、微妙和雅这8种特质简单一点的讲呢，就是这个愿里面包含的这种特质在这里面有一些体现。就像前面2句呢，它的音质呢，就是悲的成分比较突出一点，就是悲是什么呢？悲就是我们在这个世界太 miserable 了太苦了然后就是要升起这个厌离的心，就是我们对这个娑婆世界不要贪恋这个世界我们在这里轮回呢，应该早求出离，就像我们藏传佛教里面说的，要具备出离心，所以你就要升起厌离的心，就是头2句。后面2句呢，就是一个心求心。心求心呢，就是你厌离的话，那就要心求，心求就是发愿，我要愿意去换一个环境来生活，我不愿意在这个地球上生活了，在这个娑婆世界 Saha world 生活了I want to go to the Pure Land for a very new life and without any trouble and any afflictions在那个环境我们就很容易证到佛果。在那个环境里面，大家都没有冲突，没有贪嗔痴，大家全天的修行都是在深入禅定状态，是吧？在佛菩萨的加持之下， 你就很容易证到 enlightenment 啊，证到 enlightenment， 然后你就成就了佛的果位，然后你就可以再来实现你自己的愿望，你自己和阿弥陀佛一样的愿望了，都是普度众生，让一切众生呢都离苦得乐，就是最后的一个愿望就是你成佛之后的事。所以成佛之前呢，我们在这娑婆世界也可以成佛，龙女8岁就可以成佛，对吧？But for ordinary people, it's very difficult to achieve real enlightenment. We can only understand the theory of enlightenment. In Chinese, 我们解悟是可以的，也不是太难就像 Hin Hong Master Hin Hong 他解释的在书里，解悟是吧，还是不太难的解悟的话就是说，你能知道现在你行住坐卧的这个是 car， 不是 driver 你现在就要是找到那个 driver 就是这么回事那这个 driver 的话呢，你找不到，你只能体会到这个东西它不生不灭，有点感觉好像有个这个本体，它是不生不灭的，它永远死不了它永远我们的真实生命它永远死不了我也带了几本书，道格的高已经叫人拿过来的，刚才说的大家有需要的待会可以来请所以这个动念佛号它有一点是可能是这个时代的需要吧，就是特别适合于我们能够逐渐的达到一心不乱，就是经里面说的这个楞严经大势至菩萨念佛圆通章里面说的都摄6根我们平常呢这个6根摄不住，6根都是比外面的事情，我们心里的事情牵扯的，好像你关心的 what you care about is not the bliss world, you just care about your own things, the things from your family, the things from your unit, from others你天天关心的就是柴米油盐，然后自己的生活，自己的房子，自己的车子，自己的社会地位，关心的是这些，你就没有时间去关心你的下一世的生命到哪里去。而我们现在就做的这个事情 What we do is to prepare for the next life， 所以我们要提前做准备才是 wisdom， 有智慧的。如果你光是关注你现在这点自己的事情的话，你就是 foolish， 我们是这样说的所以我们现在关注 next life 的话，那么现在有个这么好的地方去让我们修行我们在那里真的能发财。你现在发的财太微不足道了，以后我们到那里是应有尽有，这是真实不虚的你想要什么动念头即来不用你去积攒你在你的佛性里面，就像阿弥陀佛现在为什么你求财得财呢？求子得子虚云老和尚就是他父母求子求来的，你想求他就来了真是这样的。到极乐世界就是这样的，你心想事成The outside environment is just your heart. Your heart, what's your mind for? Then it appears. 就这么简单。所以我们现在就是做的，就是虽然我们现在还没去极乐世界，但是我们现在念一句佛号，你的极乐世界的那边已经有花在那里开了。只要你真心切愿， 你现在在这里，我在这里，南无阿弥陀佛。我这一句佛号是不会白念的。我念完这句佛号，带着信愿念的这句佛号，它就有一切唯心造，它在法界整个法界里面会有感应。所以我们每个人动的一个念头都会有报应，都会有结果。你动恶念头，就像六祖说的，你动恶念头就去恶道，你动善念头就去善道。在这里面，在没有真的佛果以前，所有的这些道我们看起来都是真实的，但是你真到佛果里之后，你一看全是梦幻泡影，随心所动啊。所以我们现在多设6根经典相继，我们就很容易 get induction from the Bodhisattva and the Buddha 啊。所以他唱这个呢，我现在给大家示范一下啊。有没有兴趣想学的？没有兴趣想学的，我就不示范了有的话，我们就给大家示范一下它的节奏呢，我唱的也不是很好而且我唱的声音有点这个 tone 比较尖，比较高，也比较容易累。但是我们东林寺唱的呢是比较低沉缓慢，低沉缓慢呢，它就是唱24小时也不会太累啊。我们上次搞了一个24 hours， 我是从头走到尾的没有睡觉，没有吃喝拉撒都没有出去就在这个念佛堂里面念24 hours 就是在那里面一直这么走，虽然有点累体力上有点累，但是精神上不累精神上还是很欢喜的特别是念完了之后，那个欢喜是有感觉的还是这么走的念唱的南无阿弥陀佛，这是第一句然后呢停6秒钟，这6秒钟有2个目的，一个目的呢是让你深深一口气，为第2句佛号做准备。第二个呢，就是你可以体会到一些空性的智慧在里面吸气就吸到丹田吸到丹田，憋住6秒钟它有打法器。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。这6个字的节奏大概是这样的南是一般来说是念2秒钟，摩是念3秒钟阿跟它一样是2秒钟，米是3秒钟这2个5了然后陀是4秒钟，佛呢就是点到为止，就是1秒钟，就3个5唱完这4句佛号南和摩是5秒，阿弥是5秒，陀和佛是5秒钟，总共是15秒。 然后加上后面那个停顿6秒，我们一般21秒钟呢，把这句佛号唱完啊。我这里有一个共修版的啊，给大家放一下啊。能不能听清楚啊？能听清楚的话，我们一起唱一下。那你有个会事情吗？哦。不要拉长是吧？我们现在的佛号，南无阿弥陀佛，好像都不是很长。这个佛呢，具体的机制它为什么短，不像前面那个拉长的哈，它就是让你突然的停止这种念头，为后面6个字，就是你听到的话，整个那个场地它就不会拖得长和短，啊，它就是一起的就终止这句佛号，啊，它就是整个像我们上几千人在那里念佛，如果你有些人拖得长，有些人拖得短，那就不好掌控。大家都1秒钟点到陀佛啊，就是出口就停，就不会佛。你唱这么长，他唱佛，然后就长长短短，就参差不齐。这个就是，然后就不太好，给大家这个堵塞6根，它就会有干扰。这个时候呢，如果是同意停，哎，大家就沉浸在后面这6秒钟的这种寂静当中，寂静啊，就是空和有啊，在这里面都有体现。南无阿弥陀佛是有这个6秒钟呢是空，空和有到底是1还是不是2，可能你会在里面就感觉到空有不二啊，我们一起大家出声学一学，好吧？ 前面2句大家呢就体会这种悲的成分多一些，悲，特别悲伤。我们在这个世界太苦了，就是很悲伤，找不到出路。第2句呢，好像找到点出路了。第3句的话呢，就真的有这么个好方法，能去极乐世界。那就赶紧修啊，有这么好方法。第4句的话，我终于找到了极乐世界，有这样的感觉。发现阿弥陀佛就在我心里。也不是很好学哈，要经过长时间练这个节奏和韵律，还有这种特质，你才能有所感觉。时间的关系差不多了吧？还有问题的吗？对，右脚先出。鬓角的话是这样的哈，可以就是鬓角啊。南无你已经迈出了半步，它只迈半步，不是迈一步哈，不是迈一步，不是这样的，它是一小步哈。一小步呢，大概就是1/4步，1/4步呢就是一点点，我们习惯于走一点点，就走一个你脚的距离这么长然后前面人的距离呢别太近也别太远。也就你伸手臂这么长，一个座位这么长，然后伸半步呢，然后第2步呢就跟上去了，2步跟上去正好和它平齐，就是又是一小步，就是鬓角了，然后再迈右脚就是一小步，然后再鬓角一小步，就这样的，不是迈一大步啊，不是迈一步就这样交叉的，就是老是有个脚在前。网上有视频，有教学的视频，大家可以看看。大安法师呢，对这个也做了一个比较详细的一个解释和一个开示好吧，希望大家欢喜啊！有空呢，东林寺是管吃管住管修行不要你自己操一点心，你去就可以，只要有地方给你住。他全部会给你安排的就是包吃包住包修行你们去就行了，去到那里就安心了。所以我们大安法师叫大安，一切恐惧为诸大安，是什么意思呢？就是我们在这个娑婆世界很恐怖，是吧？现在你不知道什么时候第3次 World War 就要来了然后你用什么办法应对呢？对不对？那么我们一句佛号就是为诸大安，一句唵嘛呢叭咪吽就是为诸大安。为什么呢？这句佛号这种佛菩萨给我们的这种方便，你念了，你的神识就不会随着你的肉体的痛苦加深，我们的神识就沉浸在这种阿弥陀佛的愿力里面，一下子就被他摄受了，你念着就能往生所以那个时候你是没有恐惧的，没有恐惧了没有恐惧就能往生，就能到另外一个世界去，一念就去了，不会说我要真的做一个 spacecraft 去呀、不用啊，直接就去了。
好，当然是还有网上有一个问题，就是说边行走边念佛，那他就是可不可以坐着也念佛？
坐着念佛的话，当然也是可以的，包括你Chanting冬令佛号也是可以坐着念，但是我们坐着念呢，一般人没有这个功夫，因为我们这个佛号它比较慢嘛啊，然后的话呢，你唱着唱着可能睡着了，为什么？它节奏太慢，所以我们进行的目的的话呢，就是来控制你这种昏沉。当然，你静坐的有好处，你就是有可能静坐有对调举的抑制，可能更好一点啊。他坐嘛，静坐，它就相当于 do meditation，这个时候呢，你对这种思维散乱，但是我们这个走呢，实际上也不影响你，也会控制你的思维的散乱啊，因为你多摄六根了嘛，你每次都在啊，你走的时候就把脚跟摄住了，是吧？你漫步的时候脚跟摄住了，你把手好好的放着在胸前不乱动，是吧？你的手就不会去抓个东西吃，对不对？你就放在这里恭恭敬敬的。然后的话呢，眼睛的话呢也不会到处望，对不对？只看前面啊，只看前面啊。这个耳朵的话呢，就是专注于佛号。这个时候呢，就多摄六根就会比较 easy。这个时候呢，就容易达到一种比较专注的状态。这个时候呢，就更容易，就相当于我们现在修行就是在练那个调频的功夫啊，就是 try to get induction from the Buddha 啊，就是你在调频。平常做这个功夫，你心愿有了，实际上也在调频。平常去读经闻法，你也在调频，就是读的这个书，看了这些案例。这个时候呢，你就会增长你的信心。这个时候，你的频道就和佛菩萨相应了，因为你的心就会慢慢的从事情的这种 worldly、earthly 这些事情上，然后就转到我们还是要念佛啊。我们还是这个念是什么意思呢？当下你这个心你看中文就是经下面一个心，就是你当下这个心和阿弥陀佛相应，这个是要念佛啊，就是说你唯一的亲人就是阿弥陀佛啊，这句阿弥陀佛，你的念头在这句佛号上，以后就相当于这句佛号你会证得，这句佛号就是你整个的心，就是你的心。你到别的地方你找不到这个心，只有在这句佛号上你能发现这个相，这个因生成就是你的心的表现啊。这就是为什么它就是禅啊，它就是这个佛就是心，心就是佛，佛号就是心，心就是佛，就像念 mantra 啊这个咒语一样的，整个这个 Om Mani Padme Hum 就是你的心，没有再找不到第二个心。这个时候这个肉身就不会牵扯你了，它怎么原子弹打来，怎么死的都没有关系了。你在这里正在死，对不对？我 breathe stopped， 我的心跳 heartbeat stopped， no problem。 这个时候你的心是解放的了，你的心全部专注于这句名号，阿弥陀佛一下子通过他的愿力，就他那个无碍光就过来把你救度走了。为什么？这个是你的愿力和他相通的，他想接你，你又想去，两个一拍即合，就是磁和铁的关系。有了磁和铁相互到一起，它就感应了啊，就这道理就是这么简单。这个时候呢，你肉体的痛苦是没有关系的。所以我们念佛人为什么佛教中心做的这些实验，你修行人的话，他对这些东西没有恐惧的啊，这个恐惧的梦境也会随着这些佛号的修行，你也不会害怕。即使我现在好像要掉地狱去，我掉地狱去不是堕入地狱，我是念着佛号去地狱去救某一个众生，对不对？他需要我救度，可能以前我发的愿，但是我可能需要到地狱里去救他一下，就把他一起从地狱里面带走了，有可能是这样的。我是去探监的，顺道把这个人抓走啊。 这个就叫贪见，和不是和堕落 samsara 是不是一回事啊？所以我们还要相信佛教给我们的方法啊，真实不虚的啊。阿弥陀佛。
Okay, so we have chanting Amitabha Buddha practice here, stop here. Yeah, roughly this conference and workshop is over, so we will stop video. Thank you.
还剩4本书，还有想要的可以到前台来领啊，给大家结缘啊。已经请走一本。
And then for others, if you like to practice chanting mantra, so Rinpoche Venerable Rinpa is going to help us to train us, to give us kind of permission, chanting the mantra of 6 syllables. But for others, if you don't like to attend, so we have to separate, kind of separate